33 is a very significant number from both a historical viewpoint and a current time one. This number connects with deep, esoteric, hidden meaning and knowledge, and it's at the forefront of many synchronicities that are difficult to explain. For example, the number 33 is the number of vertebrae that make up the human spine, and it's the age that Jesus was reportedly crucified when he was 33 years old. 33 is the number at which water boils, according to the Newton scale. There are 33 deities in the Vedic religion. The divine name Elohim, a name for God that is used frequently in the Hebrew Bible, appears 33 times in the opening chapter of the Genesis creation story. Islamic prayer beads are often arranged in sets of 33. The numerical representation of the Star of David is 33. It is also the numerical equivalent of Amen. 1 plus 13 plus 5 plus 14 equals 33, when A equals 1 and Z equals 26. The 33rd time Noah's name is used in the Bible is when God makes a special covenant or promise to him. The United Nations flag shows the globe divided into 33 sections, encircled by olive branches. Disney World has an exclusive Club 33, where members can pay $33,000 to join. The number 33 in numerology is known as not only a master number, but the master teacher. And 33 Hertz is the frequency that scientists and researchers claim to have discovered inside the Great Pyramids of Egypt. This frequency is said to resonate with the Earth's harmonic signature, and it's been called the Christ frequency, the frequency of Christ consciousness, and the frequency of the Great Pyramid. 33 is also the most important degree that Freemasonry gives. Spiritual regeneration takes place by degrees through the 33 vertebrae of the spinal column until reaching the pituitary gland, which invokes the pineal body. The science of this regeneration is said to be one of the keys of Freemasonry, and the reason why this ancient organization was founded upon 33 degrees. It's also stated on this website, freedomcode.com, that the first Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern jurisdiction of the United States, was established in 1801 at Charleston, South Carolina. This charming and antebellum port city and hub of Southern culture is located less than 15 miles south of the 33rd parallel. Called the Solomon Lodge No. 1, the Masonic meeting place was known as the Mother Lodge of the world. The number 3 itself also carries great significance in regards to both the physical and divine nature of man. According to Manly P. Hall, a Canadian author, lecturer, astrologer, mystic, and interestingly enough, a 33-degree Freemason, wrote a book titled The Secret Teachings of All Ages in 1928. This book included subjects about the Kabbalah, alchemy, tarot, ceremonial magic, philosophy, mystery religions, and Freemasonry. In this book, Hall states, "Man's threefold lower nature, consisting of his physical organism, his emotional nature, and his mental faculties, reflects the light of his threefold divinity and bears witness of it in the physical world. Man's 3 bodies are symbolized by an upright triangle, his threefold spiritual nature by an inverted triangle. These 2 triangles, when united in the form of a 6-pointed star, were called by the Jews the Star of David, the signet of Solomon, and are more commonly known as the Star of Zion. These triangles symbolize the spiritual and material universes linked together in the constitution of the human creature, who partakes of both nature and divinity. Man's animal nature partakes of the earth, his divine nature of the heavens, his human nature of the mediator." In Freemasonry, the 33rd degree is a supreme honor bestowed only upon those who have demonstrated outstanding service to this brotherhood, as well as professional and personal accomplishments. But the hidden secret within this society may be the knowledge they hold regarding the gates of eternal life, and the power of your mind and body to take you there. Famous 33rd degree Masons include Harry Truman, Edgar Hoover, Mozart, Sugar Ray Robinson, Harry Houdini, Benjamin Franklin, and John Wayne. These were all considered to be powerful men. So what hidden secrets and information did they know about these gates of eternal life? As stated, Manly P. Hall was a 33rd degree Mason. He was initiated into this organization in 1954, and after 19 years he attained his status. In his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, he sheds light into this knowledge when he states, "During the Middle Ages, Alchemy was not only a philosophy and a science, but also a religion. Those who rebelled against the religious limitations of their day concealed their philosophical teachings under the allegory of gold making. In this way, they preserved their personal liberty and were ridiculed rather than persecuted. Alchemy is a threefold art, its mystery well symbolized by a triangle. Its symbol is 3 times 3, 3 elements or processes in 3 worlds or spheres. The 3 times 3 is part of the mystery of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, for 33 is 3 times 3, which is 9, the number of esoteric man, and the number of emanations from the root of the divine tree. It is the number of worlds nourished by the 4 rivers that pour out of the divine mouth as the verbum fiat. Beneath the so-called symbolism of alchemy is concealed a magnificent concept, for this ridiculed and despised craft still preserves intact the triple key to the gates of eternal life. Realizing, therefore, that alchemy is a mystery in 3 worlds, the divine, the human, and the elemental, it can easily be appreciated why the sages and philosophers created and evolved an intricate allegory to conceal their wisdom. Let's dig a little further into this knowledge. The human sacrum bone, translated from Greek, means sacred bone, from the belief that the soul resides within it. This bone is located at the base of the lumbar vertebrae that is connected to the pelvis. It is a large triangular bone that looks very similar to an upside-down triangle, and I'll discuss the significance of this and how it relates to the number 33 and this concealed wisdom. By adulthood, this bone is formed by the fusion of the 5 sacral vertebrae. According to ScienceDirect.com, the sacral vertebrae begin to fuse in the first postnatal year, and the last 2 sacral vertebrae fuse by adolescence. By the 3rd decade, the entire sacrum is fused. Most importantly, and most interestingly, this is said to take place by the ages of 33 to 34 years old. In yogic spiritual anatomy, the sacrum is the home of the kundalini, the serpent-like energy that sits coiled at the base of the spine. This is said to be the place where you raise your energy 33 degrees, all the way up to your higher power, to the God of the truth within you. From an article on longisland.com regarding the sacrum bone, they state, "This idea is also found with the Muslims, being mentioned in a hadith. The Prophet said, 'Everything of a human body will waste away, perish, or decay except the last coccyx bone. And from that bone, Allah will reconstruct the whole body.'" Later in this article, they state, "In our opinion, the correct interpretation of Adam's sentence about the feminine principle, Eve, 'This time it is bone of my bones, this shall be called woman,' is a sentence that becomes, 'She who is essence of my bones,' the feminine energy kundalini being the sacred essence of the respective bone." The Muladhara was shown to be controlled by Ganesha, the divine sun depicted with an elephant head by the Indian iconography. Indeed, any anatomy book provides the image of an elephant head for the group made up of the sacrum bone, elephant's triangular face, having on both sides the iliac bones as its ears, and the coccyx as its curved trunk at the bottom. And from this website regarding the sacrum bone, in India, concern with the spinal column is very ancient, and apparently it continues today. Even now, the flagstaff as the center of the yearly temple festival represents not only the cosmic pillar, but also specifically the human spinal column. The raising of the flag in the temple symbolically reenacts the rise of the kundalini of the spinal column. Thus, the 33 divisions of the flagstaff are like the vertebrae of the human spine. The serpent, inseparable from the human spine, the vital energy of man, the navel of the cosmos, and the tree of life, is the foundation of the universe. This description of the role of the serpent is just as appropriate for Mesoamerica. It is, after all, a serpent spinal column that separates the 2 skulls of the human body, that of the head and that of the pelvis. Going back once more to Manly Hall's book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, he ties this together with these 2 paragraphs. There is an oriental painting which shows 3 sunbursts. One sunburst covers the head, in the midst of which sits Brahma with 4 heads, his body a mysterious dark color. The second sunburst, which covers the heart, solar plexus, and upper abdominal region, shows Vishnu sitting in the blossom of the lotus on a couch formed of the coils of the serpent of cosmic motion, its seven-hooded head forming a canopy over the god. The third sunburst is over the generative system, in the midst of which sits Shiva, his body a grayish-white, and the Ganges River flowing out of the crown of his head. This painting was the work of a Hindu mystic who spent many years subtly concealing great philosophical principles within these figures. The Christian legends could be related also to the human body by the same method as the Oriental, for the arcane meaning hidden in the teachings of both schools are identical. As applied to Masonry, the three sunbursts represent the gates of the temple at which Kiram was struck, there being no gate in the north because the sun never rises from the north angle of the heavens. The north is the symbol of the physical because of its relation to ice, crystallized water, and to the body, crystallized spirit. In man, the light shines towards the north, but never from it, because the body has no light of its own, but shines with the reflected glory of the divine life particles concealed within physical substance. For this reason, the moon is accepted as the symbol of man's physical nature. Kiram is the mysterious, fiery, airy water which must be raised through the three grand centers, symbolized by the ladder with 3 rungs and the sunburst flowers mentioned in the description of the Hindu painting. It must also pass upward by the means of the ladder of 7 rungs, the 7 plexuses, proximate to the spine. The 9 segments of the sacrum and coccyx are pierced by 10 foramina, through which pass the roots of the tree of life. 9 is the sacred number of man, and in the symbolism of the sacrum and coccyx a great mystery is concealed. That part of the body from the kidneys downward was termed by the early Kabbalists the land of Egypt, into which the children of Israel were taken during the captivity. Out of Egypt, Moses, the illuminated mind, as his name implies, led the tribes of Israel, the 12 faculties, by raising the brazen serpent in the wilderness upon the symbol of the Tau cross. Not only Kiram, but the god-men of nearly every pagan mystery ritual are personifications of the spirit fire in the human spinal cord. As its name signifies, the pineal gland is the sacred pine cone in man, the eye single, which cannot be opened until Kiram, the spirit fire, is raised through the sacred seals, which are called the 7 churches in Asia. The 33rd degree represents the human head atop the 33 vertebrae of the back. A summary of this process can be found on craftsmanonline.com, and I'll leave a link to that website in the description of this video. There they state, from the base of the spine there is the serpent which will wind its way up the spine to the crown chakra. The Sufis knew this as the Baraka. The Jews called it the Shekinah. The Chinese Taoists called it Jing. In India, it was the Kundalini. To awaken the power of the Kundalini, it would take spiritual discipline, including alchemy and yoga. As the Kundalini rises through the physical, emotional, and mental bodies, it performs the task of destroying all the impurities that prevent him from knowing his innate divinity. For more information on this particular subject, there's a link in the description of this video to another video describing this sacred secret.